But right now joining us is Alex Fast. He is the vice president of the pitchers list, a in-depth look at pitching stats and for baseball and a lot of the new numbers we love to dissect. Alex, thank you so much for joining us. Let's talk about the spin rate. It's talked about all the time these days. Tell us what it actually means in your interpretation of it.
Yeah, totally. So when we're talking about spin rate, let's focus on fastballs. When we're talking about fastballs, we're looking for pitches that give the perception of rise, of elevation. Now, a pitch can never really rise because of gravity, but it can definitely give the impression that it does. And more rise usually equals more swings and misses. So how do we measure rise? We're going to look at RPM, we're going to look at spin rate and active spin. So RPM, revolutions per minute, pretty much the same thing as spin rate. How much is a ball spinning on its way to the plate? But there's a common misconception. Some people think, oh, well, that fastball's got a really good spin rate. It must be really, really good. And that's not always the case. There are other factors, including active spin. So active spin is how much of that spin, how much of that RPM is contributing to the movement of the pitch. The more active spin, the more backspin a fastball is going to get, the more rise the fastball is going to get, and therefore the more swing and misses. So it's not just about spin, it's also about active spin as well.
Alex, anyone on this Orioles pitching staff right now that's succeeding doing that?
Yeah, believe it or not, we have 3 guys in the top 30 active spin leaderboard for fastballs. One of the guys going tonight, Alex Cobb, also Tommy Milone and John Means. Now, Tommy Milone and Alex Cobb, yes, they don't really have the best spin rate, but their active spin is really, really high, and you love to see that. It means they're getting the most out of that fastball. This is really big for John Means, however. We're seeing more spin rate from him, more active spin, and more velocity. That means he's setting up that four-seamer even better than before. It allows the changeup to get more whiffs, more ground outs. It allows the slider and the other breaking pitches to get more whiffs as well. Really, really important for John Means moving forward.
Let's talk about Tommy Milone and that devastating changeup he's had this season. Why has that been so effective for him?
Yeah, that pitch has a 24% swinging strike rate. That is the second best in all of baseball behind Kenta Maeda. He's not really doing anything too different than what he did last year in terms of utilization. What's giving that changeup a lot of success is actually that four-seamer. He's always been an east and west kind of guy with that four-seamer, but what he's doing now, as you can see in that GIF, is he's elevating that four-seamer a little bit more, allowing him to have more success tunneling with that changeup, which is something we talked about last time. When that pitch comes in, batters can't determine if it's a fastball that's going to end in the zone or a changeup that's going to drop off the table, and they're going to swing and miss at both right now.
There are new stats, it seems, every day in baseball. Alex, how about this one? There's HR, home run, and XHR. Tell us about XHR and the difference between those two.
So I think sometimes when I watch the Orioles and they're in Fenway and they hit a double to the Green Monster, I think, man, would that have actually been a home run in Camden Yards? And StatCast now allows us to see that. Expected home runs looks at those hits. How many of those hits would have left the ballpark compared to different stadiums, right? So let's get specific. Anthony Santander hits a double. It would have been a home run in 7 different stadiums. 7 divided by 30 is about 0.25. And I know a lot of people hear this and they think, well, how can someone have 0.25 expected home runs? And I totally get that. But what we're trying to look at is real power output, right? How much power do these guys really have? Same thing with no-doubters. A no-doubter is a home run that would have left the ballpark regardless of the ballpark. And there are 2 Orioles in the top 10 no-doubters leaderboard. Renato Nunez and Pedro Severino both have no-doubter percentages over 80%, meaning that power doesn't just play in Camden Yards. It plays all over the MLB.
Enlightening as always. Alex Fast, thank you so much. That was great.
Thanks a lot for having me, guys.